I categorize this as not good, but it's my favorite of the not goods, is Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which John keeps referring to it as Three Billboards Outside Billings, Montana.
I guess it doesn't really matter though if it's not based on a true story, right?
It does sound very much like a based on true history. Like I don't know, like a lynching happened.
Do you think they want you to get that feeling? They want to slightly mislead you?
I researched it. So to summarize quickly, Frances McDormand, a mainstay of Coen Brothers films, plays a mother whose daughter was killed and raped a year prior. No arrests have been made, and she's starting to feel like the small town cops have given up entirely. So she rents out some cheap billboard space to put up big damning messages about the police.
Which totally does happen. There's been billboards in New Bedford for years about this.
To try to get more public attention, because what she's read that if there's more public attention on the crime, then there's more likelihood that the criminal will be caught.
Now, doesn't that sound like a really interesting movie? Because this movie was not.
That sounds like the premise of a great thriller.
Yes.
Where a whodunit thriller and you're going to be on the edge of your seat the whole time, and it fucking isn't.
We've got some mustache twirlers.
Well, let me just say, and you can finish I'll let you finish your summary. But this movie for me was just above the Phantom Thread in terms of how much I disliked this movie a lot.
Yeah, and EJ did too.
I did.
Yeah. But go.
So yeah, well, it basically becomes kind of an ad lib from there.
Yeah.
The chief of police, played by Woody Harrelson, is like a favorite in the town. He's well respected because she calls him out directly in the billboards. For her to do that it makes her reputation trash.
He's dying of cancer.
And he's dying of cancer, and everybody knows that. Sam Rockwell plays a racist, angry, mustache-twirling cop that's at the station. And basically, it's just about the interplay between these characters. Spoilers, Woody Harrelson kills himself. That complicates the plot a little bit.
Doesn't she date for no reason?
She dates Peter Dinklage for absolutely no reason at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They made it about him being like a dwarf, but I think it's probably just because they cast him. Yeah. I think they probably originally wrote it to be like an unattractive, like hillbilly.
Yes.
So I don't know. The movie is all over the place, but worst of all, when Woody Harrelson kills himself, he had suicide notes for everybody who mattered to him, and Sam Rockwell gets one, and he basically says, "Don't be a villain anymore." And he just decides to stop being a villain, and he decides to start helping her solve the case. And at the end of the movie, they're like going on a road trip together as best friends.
Yeah.
As far as him being a racist, that ends up being completely irrelevant. There really is no race element in the movie.
And I'm kind of mad that they just brought it up. It felt very pandering, like. Because there's like a black police chief, and that's about it. And then they
ultimately treat him with respect because they have to.
And they don't really go anywhere with that thread. Frances McDormand just brings it up. Dermid.
I mean, one of the things
just brings it up for no reason. She's like, "Oh, you don't like black people," and it sounds as pandering as that,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that sounds a lot like The Shape of Water, where it's like, let's just throw everything at this villain and make him horrible.
Yeah, and they kind of like imply that he's closeted gay, and it's like they throw every hammy thing, and they're saying he's going to win Best Supporting Actor.
There's also there's a character that shows up at her shop, and it strongly implies that he's the rapist and killer.
But he's not.
But he's not.
He's not.
He just burned and raped some other woman and talked about it.
And he talks about it openly. It really is. But the thing that I think is most important to talk about with this movie is there is really tone-deaf interplay between the drama and comedy.
Yeah.
And before people go, oh, you just can't handle a dramedy. I can handle a dramedy. I've seen a few movies in my life.
I think what that comes out of, Frankie, is the fact that this tries so hard and fails so badly to be a Coen Brothers film.
In a way,
all the way through, it's got all the Coen Brothers actors. It's got Carter Burtwell doing the score. It's got the styling, but it doesn't have the deftness of shot choice, of moving the story forward, of directing the acting. I mean, if you look at that every frame of painting where it talks about how the Coen Brothers do their films and how without the Coen Brothers, even if it's written by them, how different it is. There's a great little scene from that. But this felt so wanting to be that and falling so short.
It's a good Coen Brothers film snowballs. Like, it's a snowballing effect throughout the film. This was almost like something happened.
It started off really big.
Something happened, then it does something to lower the stakes. Yeah. There's the concept in improv where you don't ever want to lower the stakes. If you say, oh, I've cut off my arm, you don't want to say, the other character can't be like, oh, no, you didn't, or oh, no, it grew back. Like, you don't want to do that. You want to constantly be snowballing and getting the stakes risen, and that's what a good Coen Brothers movie does. And this almost does the Last Jedi thing, is like, we're going to subvert your expectations at every turn.
And in doing so, demean the narrative.
And demean the narrative, and it just goes nowhere. It's just like, oh, I blew up the police station, but it doesn't really matter.
It also has that and then problem, where like it feels more like it feels like the writer came back to it once a week and then like added like a few pages and then left, and then came back and added a few pages and left. Like it doesn't feel to me like and then or therefore because but. But as far as the handling of the scenes and the comedy and the drama, like I was talking about, it's more like the joke wasn't very good. It was it was almost like it was performed bad, or the timing wasn't good, or it just wasn't that. And then there's like dramatic music under it, so it was doing like a dramatic thing. And now there's a joke though, and then the whole scene and the scene's shot a little boring anyway, so it's not drawing my attention in any kind of interesting way. And the whole thing just ends up feeling mismanaged.
Yeah.
And it felt like that happened a lot.
Yeah, I love a good dark comedy, but this sometimes was trying to be a super realistic drama, and then it does something like really corny and really out of place dark humor, and then that didn't land.
Yeah.
So Frankie, this isn't that far down, so what did you enjoy about the film?
I guess it was like, so unlike something like The Post, that in no way did each scene draw me in. So, or Phantom Thread, where I felt like I was like naked in the desert. I was like, I have no idea when there's gonna be water. I don't know what's going, like, while I thought that the movie was generally mismanaged, at least the characters seemed to care about what they were saying. The scenes were short enough. Sometimes there was cause and effect. It's like when the chief of police kills himself and Sam Rockwell like bolts it towards the guy who sold her the billboards, and he throws him out the window. It's like it's an interesting scene, I suppose. It's just, I don't know, things were happening at least.
Yeah.
They're at times incoherent.
Yeah,
but
that's for sure.
They're at least happening. So I thought, like, if you made me watch any one of these again and I landed on this one, I wouldn't cry.
This reporter, for one, hopes this finally puts an end to the strange saga of the 3 billboards outside.
This doesn't put an end to shit, you fucking retard. This is just a fucking start. Why don't you put that on your Good Morning Missouri fucking wake up broadcast, bitch?